Hello guys, I'm excited to be here. I'm T-Self, and I'll be casting a couple games from today's Blitz Pit tournament. So, this should be fun. First game we have up will be Crucifer against Larkstar. So that's Nurgle against Necro, game number 5 of round 1. If you guys want to check out the live updating bracket teams and a good old straw poll to vote on who do you think is going to win, I've got some links for you guys. Pop them in the chat. So here's the brackets, team builds, and a straw poll to see if you guys can pick the winner of the tournament. So today we'll have 3 games back to back. So we got round 1 and then a couple games in losers round 1 and losers round 2, and then round 2 will also be played today. So those are the rounds we've got on the dock for today, and then the semifinals and later, or round 3 and on, will be I'll cast tomorrow, I believe. So this should be a fun day of Blood Bowl. So let's begin by starting to take a look at the 2 teams we're going to be covering today. So we're going to pop on over to Larkstar's team first. And so here we are. We have Dead Zeds, baby Dead Zeds. A pretty nice looking necromantic team. So we've got a bunch of guard, block guard on 2 flesh golems, block guard on 2 whites. Werewolves coming in with tackle, mighty blow to go with their blocks. A sure hands ghoul to probably be the ball carrier. And a wrestle ghoul. It's always nice to have access to wrestle on the pitch. Coming in at a solid 1360 team value with 2 rerolls. So a little low on rerolls for most Blood Bowl teams, but you know, hopefully they can make do with just the 2. And 1 coach's assistant, 1 cheerleader to try and win those kickoff events, it seems. For not too much TV investment. Obviously with 70k rerolls, Necro are a bit expensive on the reroll development. And who are they going to be going up against? Well, let's have a look at that. So on the other side, we're going to have Ozg's favorite, if I'm pronouncing that properly. And this is going to be a Nurgle team coached by Crucifer, a very well-known name in the Champions ladder. And this is going to be all-out kill and control. So block guard on all 4 warriors, block guard on the Beasts of Nurgle. Lots of control in there. Going to try and make it hard to cause blocks. And then 2 killer pestigors. So mighty blow claw, no block on them. So 1 in 9s could end up being a little bit of a problem for those pestigors. So if the dice don't go well, maybe they'll eat a couple turnovers. But in terms of the Rotters, just the 1 with a skill, and it's going to be sure hands. Going to be carrying on a Rotter instead of a pestigor. Obviously, the TV is always a concern, so having a 3rd pestigor would have been a little too much cost for him, I think. And this team is coming in at 1420 with 3 team rerolls. So the difference between the 2 teams then is going to be 60k, meaning that the Necro team will be able to afford a Bloodweiser babe, it seems. So those are our 2 teams for today. And yeah, who do you guys think is going to win, Larkstar or Crucifer, given these 2 teams? And the game should be starting pretty soon. Coming up onto the 2 o'clock. Soul of Dragon's Fire coming in with a raid. Hello, guys. We're streaming a game in this Blitz Pit tournament. So this is a 2-day tournament. 1-minute turns. Cash prize for the winner. So this should be really sweet. And we're going to cop over to the thing and see if we can get this one started. get out of here. Cobalt TV. Larkstar. Okay. So as soon as the game goes live, we'll be able to join it. Okay, they've been given everyone's been given the go to kick off. So this one should be starting shortly. So until we go live, I'm just gonna pop the bracket back up on the screen that you guys can see, and we'll jump back onto the game as soon as it goes and starts. Let me get this again for you guys. So this is a 1-minute cash prize tournament truck. So there's 16 teams involved. Here's a link to the bracket that'll be updated live. There's a bunch of Rebel guys playing in it as well, so cheer them on. And should be a pretty sweet couple of days. There's gonna be, I think there's 8 of us casting games for this, so as well as some of the participants will be casting from their perspectives. We've got 8 commentary teams, 8 commentators gonna be casting live games at the same time here. So give everyone a good old check out. See if I can get the list of those for you guys. But yeah, this is gonna be, it's 1-minute turns, so it shouldn't be too long in terms of like time. And we are starting, so I'm gonna pop back into the game and get us going. So here we are, coming to you guys live with Larkstar versus Crucifer. So this is a resurrection format, I'm pretty sure. They all submitted teams in. And here we are. So it looks like the Nurgle have chosen to receive the ball. And the Necro are setting themselves up in defense. Okay. We do have 1 bench for the Necromantic, Larkstar's team, and no bench over on the Nurgle's team. And I'm gonna swap us behind the Nurgle for offense. And let's get down to just learn skills so that we don't have all that Nurgle's rot covering the screen. So these teams were all designed by the players, so they picked the skills, and there were some rules, but I don't remember all the rules for the team building, so I'd have to figure those out. But they all submitted what they wanted to play, and this is what we come up with. Oh, and there's a Blitz already starting off spicy. No inducements. Okay, no inducements allowed. Sweet. Some people know the rules better than I do. But the Blitz is spicy. It's going to allow Larkstar to push his guard into places he wants them. And get a big old Mighty Blow Claw Blitz from the Werewolf. Potentially looking to be set up onto this side Nurgle Warrior over here. Comes in with the Wolf. Finds a big POW. He's gonna leave the Wolf in base contact, gonna dodge it out. Doesn't want to be standing next to the Claw Mighty Blow Pestigore with the Wolf. Now it is worth noting that this Wolf is not safe. He did have to dodge further into enemy lines, and he will take the full double GFIs backwards in order to get safe from the Mighty Blow Claw Pestigore, who would have blitzed him if he was standing over here. Gonna increase the amount of guard pressure on this claw. Try and deny that hit. And then probably set up defensively behind his line of scrimmage in these last couple seconds. Now remember, with 1 minute turns, it is very fast. You have to make your turns count. Cannot hesitate. You cannot take too much time to think. And the beast starts off showing its great skill with block and really stupiding on the first try. Got a few easy blocks to make here, and probably can manufacture a hit with the claw onto this guard player by knocking down this zombie first and walking through, providing assists in these two squares. Because he has guard on all of his warriors, he doesn't actually need to knock down the zombie. He will be able to set up a block here as long as he can get one more assist in. And potentially then a blitz onto either the flesh golem or the other guard white. Blitz is going to come onto the white itself. Not going to find a knockdown, however. Just going to push him backwards. Still has one more hit here on the line of scrimmage against this zombie. 2 if he hits diagonally, but I think he wants to free up a Rodder to go protect the ball. And that is exactly what he chooses to do. Gonna send this Rodder backwards, probably, and then pick the ball up with the Sure Hands. Sure Hands being useful already, saving him a reroll. Dodges free the Pestigore to come close up this side with the stupid beast, losing its tackle zones. Will he dodge this Nurgle Warrior away? He will, trying to get away from the surf potential. Now it's worth noting that this Nurgle Warrior is still surfable if Larkstar wants to commit to it, but it will be a heavy commitment. But he would have to surf him by blitzing with the Frenzy twice into this position and then pushing him out with the white itself. Now he might not want to commit all the players in order to do that surf, even though it is a very good chance of removing a good player. Yeah, to just pressure this ball more, because Crucifer has put himself in a little bit of a weak position in front of the ball after that blitz, you know, gave Larkstar the initiative. Looks like we're gonna bring our guards back around, try and get some free hits onto this Nurgle Warrior. With the blitz, actually. We had blitz with the Wrestle Ghoul. I wonder if he's setting up to foul this with the zombie that's standing there, Marvin. Opting to keep his wolves in safety. Doesn't want to let any easy hits onto the 2 wolves happen. We will get a good old +3 foul onto this armor 9 piece, bringing him down to essentially armor 6. Very good chance at breaking that armor. Though it is always scary when you foul against regen teams, because they can get their players back. And here we see a stun, but the send-off, that's going to drop the Necro team down 1 player and even up the numbers in terms of the rosters. Down 1 on the pitch, though. Will the beast come back this turn? We already see one of the zombies on the line taken down by a Nurgle Warrior. As the rest of the team comes back towards the middle to try and strengthen the position near the ball. Setting up for a 3 dice onto the zombie with the beast if he can first knock down the other zombie. Making sure to fill out his cage before rolling more dice, just in case of failures. And we see another removal, this time a KO onto a zombie. So it's 11v9 now. Beast block is a good skill, as it causes a death, which will regen. So 11 versus 8 on the pitch. It's going to be now a little easier for Crucifer to move the ball around. As we see a Claw Mighty Blow hit on the Blitz, coming at a white. This is dangerous. Just a stun. Retreat back to safety. Doesn't let him get blitzed. And finish off the strong line with another guard warrior. So far I'd say even though Larkstar got the Blitz, he wasn't really able to capitalize on it. And is now looking quite in a tough spot for this first half drive. Down 3 players on the field, and though he can get 2 of them back up to 11, it's going to be tough to stop the onslaught as this Nurgle team slowly moves up the pitch with plenty of time to hit the... And then we are seeing all of this Necro team just over on the side of the pitch, almost just daring the Nurgle to go up the left-hand side and take all this free real estate forwards. The Beast is moving all the way forwards as far as it could go. Potentially setting up a Blitz with the Claw Mighty Blow onto this block guard Flesh Golem. That would be a very good target to take out for Crucifer. Not without its downsides blitzing this player though, because if you do only get a push, you are stuck next to him with your killer. He does have redundancy in the form of 2 killers though, so I don't think he'll be too worried about that. We are seeing a nice big cage over here. Lots of players around the ball protecting it. Importantly, not using the Beast as a corner means that if he does stupid on a future turn, is not going to be breaking up the cage structure. We do see that Blitz coming onto the Flesh Golem. And we're going to get injury out of it with the claws. Although I believe, yeah, that would have broken even without claws. But no regen on the Golem, and now the strength of the Necro team is starting to dwindle. 7 on the pitch, down to a maximum of 10 on the field for the second half. No damage caused to the Nurgle team. Yeah, it has not been a great start for Larkstar here. There's always the danger, though. You have these Mighty Blow Claw players capable of doing anything they want. Still choosing to blitz with the Flesh Golem instead of the Mighty Blow Claw of his own. But I believe he doesn't want to Frenzy Trap himself onto the Beast, which is good placement by Crucifer. Ghoul gonna tie down the Beast. Beast would need to fish a POW on this Ghoul, because it does have Wrestle. But with this few players, it's almost a lost cause trying to get to this ball. You try and just pick off a few players as whenever you can, and try and even the score for the second half, I believe. And I'm pretty sure you can resurrect Rotters from the dead, so if you do manage to nail a Rotter with a death, he could potentially gain back up to 11 players for the second half. Not going to take down the ghoul on the first 3 dice attempt. Will he blitz the ghoul as well? Potentially. He does get a 3 dice with Mighty Blow. Comes from the top. 3 assists here. Could also just attempt to take out the other Flesh Golem and really limit the amount of strength that Larkstar is able to field for the second half. Plenty of choices here for Crucifer on who to target. Could even blitz this white. It's a little safer than blitzing the stand for him, because push would let him free up, not take as many blocks next turn. Does target the other Flesh Golem, however. We're going to see the double push re-rolled, because he does have 3 re-rolls left. Hasn't had to use one yet. Not going to break the armor, however. So I see this Rotter in a potential position to be blocked, but he could also maybe try and set up a chain hits onto the Nurgle Warrior with the Mighty Blow Werewolf, and if you do knock him down on the second time, you can then potentially get a hit onto the Killer Pestigore with your white that it's in base contact with. Yep, and this is smart, setting up the chain push here. If he blitzes in from this corner... Oh, can I just go after the Rotter? Okay, that's also a safe choice. Oh, and here's the death! And this is what we were saying earlier, that if he did cause a death on a Rotter, he would be able to gain back up to 11, potentially for the second half. So the Necromancer coming in useful here, nabbing a Rotter and increasing the numbers for Larkstar. The guard will drop in, get the hit onto the Pestigore now. Block will work. The Pestigore does not have block. Unable to break the armor, however. Well, he's doing what he needed to be doing. Tentacles failing to stop the ghoul from dodging away. So Larkstar doing what he can to potentially try and get back into this game. Picking up the extra zombie will be very useful to replace the one that got sent off. Although you really can't replace the Flesh Golem. That's going to be the tough part for him. Especially with the amount of guard that is on the field for this Nurgle team. We have 5 guard. 4 block guard Nurgle warriors and the beast with block guard. Yeah, you're totally right, Chubstep. Down the fleshy is going to hurt a lot. And then this line is going to get smothered by the guard here. Even basing up against the werewolf at the back. Does this mean he's going to try and blitz this werewolf? But I don't see how. I'm surprised by this base down here. I guess he just doesn't want the werewolves coming up to try and get to the ball. Remember, they are surprisingly fast, the werewolf, with 8 movement for such a disparate move team. They can actually get back up there and hassle the ball on the next turn if Crucifer wasn't careful with how many players he sent forwards to protect it. Looks like he will be setting up a 3 dice onto this ghoul. And it can only be considered an eye cage. Not the safest of cages. Chooses to keep the guard based up with the other guards and the tentacles. A lot of guard here, and only 5 seconds to act. Here are the necessary assists. He already had enough, but choosing to go for a few more. Will we see the POW he wants? We don't. Will we see a reroll? Nope. Will we pick up our Pestigore, who's a little, can we say, in danger here? In danger of being surrounded and hit. We're gonna probably dodge him free. Yeah. Dodge at the last second. What can Larkstar do here? Adding an extra assist. Looks like he wants to block down this beast. Fails the foul appearance. Not worth a reroll. 1 dice onto Nurgle Warrior. Yep, could 3+ dodge, try to wrestle this ball. There will be a half die though. But half dies are pretty good. Not the worst odds in the world. Could be saving his reroll to try and dodge these wolves up to harass the ball. Cause maybe an early score from Crucifer. He has pushed quite far forwards with probably not enough players to keep the ball safe. Goes for the Blitz through the Pestigore to get the werewolves into position. And finally finds a removal of his own, KOing this killer. Opts to send the werewolf backwards to try and pick up a 1 dice on this guard. Does have to reroll the GFI to do so. And now he has a 1 into a 2. Dodges the ghoul away to protect it from being surfed. Keeps it around just to hassle. We see 1 into 2, just finding a both down. Not going to get the second attempt. Now both the wolves are looking to be hit this turn. Blitz probably coming onto the Mighty Blow one, followed by a hit onto the Tackle one. Doesn't look to Blitz there. Up. Gonna walk back and still gonna be going for this massive 3 dice Blitz onto the ghoul. Trying to find that POW with the Mighty Blow. Ghouls are always a good target because they cannot regenerate. Does find a POW this time. The 3rd attempt. Unable to break the armor, however. A little scary where the ball is compared to this ghoul. Yeah, just gonna keep him up here. The wolves are a little too far away to deal with this, especially with a knockdown coming onto the Mighty Blow wolf. Another really stupid coming out of the Beast and Nurgle. This is going to open up some potential chances. Can this white reach the ball? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can potentially reach the ball. No dodge at the start. This Flesh Golem knocks down the warrior. So this will be a 4+ dodge, double GFI. To 1 dice the ball with block. Quite a decent potential, I think. Or we can take a Blitz, potentially, onto... just try and cause damage. Yeah, that's also another choice. So Blitz here, or knockdown followed by a Blitz with the other werewolf. Just goes for hits. Leaves his Blitz open. Not gonna knock the guy down. It will have the follow-up Blitz from the floor. Pushes into... Still a 2 dice. Pushes. Re-rolls it. Last re-roll of the half for Larkstar. Finding a POW, but no break with the Mighty Blow Claw. I do not think that these players will stand up again, so maybe he'll have to resort to fouling with his other zombie. Ghoul makes the 4+ and the 3+ to free himself. Is he gonna head backwards? No, he's gonna stay near the ball. Now the ball can move all the way over to the sideline and be relatively safe from the ghoul, so I don't believe this ghoul is a problem for Crucifer here, as he will safely get a full 8-turn stall. Especially if the ghoul is taken down again. Looks like he's gonna go for the hit on the ghoul first to see whether he does need to score or not. Though even with the ghoul pushed back a square, it's going to be really tough for it to reach the far corner. So we are just going to stick the ball over in that corner. And with one push, it will be fully out of range of the ghoul and all the necromantic players. This werewolf one square too far back to affect the end line. We do see yet another 3-die. This one will provide a POW. And a break. But just a stun. Ooh, and then fails a GFI to try and get activation onto this beast. Does have 2 rerolls left though for 2 turns, which means he will be able to get this hit. Stood up one of his warriors, so I believe that reason is because the other warriors were also blitzable, and it's only next to a zombie. But I do believe we'll see a blitz onto a Nurgle warrior this turn. Trying to cause some damage before he goes into the next half. Now it is worth noting that werewolves are possible to score 1-turns on. It's not the craziest thing in the world to see a 1-turn out of their movement 8, especially when you have Frenzy for the first hit. So he could be trying to get a guard off the pitch. Push into POW. Okay, he does knock down this Nurgle warrior. And that's a KO. So if the KO rolls are nice, Larkstar could potentially be going into the half with a man advantage. And that is 2 important players sitting out for the Nurgle. Two seconds left. Can he get the necessary assists over to make this block? No. Always tough with a minute. Potential blitz here onto the tackle werewolf. 1, 2, 3. 3 assists will make it a 3-die. I believe it would not be worth taking if it was only a 2-die. But at 3, worth taking and spending your reroll just in case. There you go. Gets the POW the first try. And the wolf goes down, but is only stunned. Larkstar will definitely take that. Finds another block onto a flesh golem. Didn't want to use the beast because that's not safe. And will score, taking this 1-0 for Crucifer. As Rats, the Sure Hands Rotter, barfs all over the ball. Let's see those KO rolls. Zombie gets up. 11 men for the Necro. Killer stays out, but the guard gets up. 10 men. Or wait, is that... No, just 9 men for Crucifer, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 9 men for Crucifer. Switch over to the offense. Here we go. Can the Necro one turn through all this guard? It's gonna be very difficult. But it's gonna be possible. Or does he just try to cause damage instead? Looks to me like he's setting up for damage. One turns are incredibly difficult in 1 minute. Especially with all this guard around. And I do think it would have been possible, but it would have been very difficult. Extra reroll to the Necro. That should help in their attempt to get a Kaz. Block down the first Nurgle Warrior. No damage. Sends a zombie to cancel the assist at the back. This means that he's intending to blitz this block guard Nurgle Warrior from the back and inwards. Ghoul is going to take down the Warrior. Sets up with one more assist, a hit onto the Beast of Nurgle. Werewolf provides it. Just a push. Interesting location to push to. If he'd pushed... Oh no, never mind, he had to because these guys were in the way. Forced. But it still will be a 2 dice into a 2 dice. Doesn't need it anyways. Gets the POW. And that's a KO. With the Mighty Blow Werewolf. So, again, we'll have 2 guys needing to roll KOs. And if they both stay out, Larkstar has a really good shot in the second half, I believe. Even if only one of them gets up, he'll be up 2 on the half. And here we go, KO rolls. Just the one again, so Killer stays out, Block Guard gets up. So we are going to see an 11 versus 9 here on offense for the Necromantic team. So now the question is, will Larkstar be playing for overtime, or is he going to try and send this in early, get a slight numbers advantage maybe, use his Mighty Blow to good effect? Perfect defense. So both teams able to get good kickoff results on defense. This enables Crucifer to stack the line with even more guard. 5 versus the 3 left for Larkstar. Very aggressive perfect D setup. Sends the beast away from the strength 4. We're going to try and tie down the ghoul with it. And a zombie catches the kick. That's going to be interesting. Not ideal if you're Larkstar. I mean, you have the ball, but it's not on the player that you want it on. Can he make any 2 dice blocks on this line? That's the real question. he's committing to it. Mighty Blow Wolf gonna try and pick off on this left corner. Ooh, GFI. Okay, so he was setting up a chain push here. This is an interesting play. We'll not have to do a second. This is gonna push the beast backwards and get that guard out of there. Nabs himself a stun. So now he can attempt to hit these guys on the line. So it's 1 die here with 2 assists versus 1. Into potential another 1 die into maybe a 2 die? No, that would be also a 1 die because no guard on this spot. Ball's slowly trudging up to the left-hand side of the pitch on the zombie's hands. And now it's going to be 1 dice. Oh, no, 2 dice if he comes from the corner because there's no guard sitting on the ghoul. This could chain another guy out with just a push. Gets another 2 dice on this angle. So he set up a good line of 2 dices because of this. Chains a guard out of there, so this guy now has 2 dice if this white comes over here. But the white's instead going to retreat and protect the ball. So now we've got a 1 dice here into potentially nothing. Okay. Leaves them put. However, because this doesn't have guard, it does set up the 2 dice back. The beast behaves to come in onto the ghoul again. And not only that, but the werewolf has been exposed to the killer. Because he did not have the movement or ability to get him off of there. Line up the guards again. Opts for the 2 dice onto the zombie instead of the flesh golem. Choosing to go for the more reliable knockdown rather than the juicier target. Does find a knockdown onto this werewolf with the Mighty Blow Claw. Fails to break the armor. It's a bit of a let-off for Larkstar there. Very happy that he'll still be able to use his Mighty Blow this turn. Very strong line of guard facing them here, though. It's going to be tough to get off this. Might have to just ignore them. Be content with the amount that he's got there. Nope, he's going to recommit to it. That's fine, too. 1 dice with the ghoul onto the Beast of Nurgle. Zombie can provide an assist on this side. But still wouldn't be great because of all the guard in play. Is this the time we try the handoff to get the ball onto the player you wanted to have holding it? It is. Handoff works. So no stand firm on the beast means you can just push it around. But I do think block guard was a good choice. Maybe guard stand firm would have been slightly better. We'll have to see. Now we do know that the beast did 1 in 27 a block earlier, so that block came in handy. Throwing this guard forwards, this gets a 2 dice now. With the Flesh Golem onto the Nurgle Warrior. Does not break the armor, so the guy can just stand right back up though. Chain push Blitz coming in. Stand firm is a choice. Also can push him backwards. And chain push the other guard off of there. I've been very impressed with Larkstar's chain pushing this turn, this drive. Set up some really nice ones. What are we doing on this turn? So we stood up our guards. We potentially have a hit with the beast. Yeah, hit with the beast onto this white, maybe. I think he's just trying to find where is his blitz going to be. And I'm assuming it's going to be targeting this werewolf because it is reachable. But he could also try and blitz the zombie or the ghoul. Beast of Nurgle hit comes in. Doesn't move forwards. Doesn't want to get hit back in retaliation. Wants to stay strong in this line with his Nurgle warriors. Blitz onto the ghoul now. Makes sense. Doesn't find a POW, however. Just gonna send him right back across. And just keeping a strong line. Not really letting the Necro get forwards. Dodges water, end of turn. No reason to reroll that, but it does cause an injury. And that's going to further reduce the numbers that the Nurgle have on the pitch. So now down to just 8 players to stop the 11 for the Necro. Necro are getting their attrition wish. They didn't have many players on the pitch for the first drive, but they're ahead in the second half, and maybe that's all that matters. Interesting place for the zombie, because he's not providing any assists there. Ball's going to move up onto this right-hand sideline. Trying not to leave the zombie behind, but the zombies are quite slow. We have isolated one of the guard block players away on a lone zombie, which is very useful. Set up yet another sweet chain push play. Can chain push into Stanford, hold him there for a second try. Fail a go for it. Oof, last reroll. This is the part I was talking about in the first, in the setup for this game, is that with only 2 rerolls on the Necro side, it's going to be tough if you fail a couple rolls. And this sets up a very good turn of blocking available for the Nurgle team. With his whole line of guard just standing there waiting to do things. And they're all going to be targeting this Flesh Golem. Ooh, and a big KO. And that is the other Flesh Golem. Down to just 2 guard on the field for the Necro. Looks like they're going to have to push for the end zone quicker than they wanted to. Mighty Blow KOs a ghoul. Drops down to 11 players. Sorry, 9 from 11. Does he have the speed to just out-race these Nurgle? Really be able to get there? Frantically, a few Nurgle players are running back to try and shore up the backfield. He left it a little too late to defend the flank, though. This ghoul can get pretty far up the pitch. And the Blitz is going to come onto the white. 3 dice, gets the POW. Claw does not break the armor with a double 1. But is this enough to stop a flank push? These players are very fast. And with the position he's in, Larkstar doesn't really have a choice to reset. I think he has to push for it. He agrees with my statement. Pushing forwards. He's going to be blitzing the Rotter and then trying to get behind his players. Block good. Takes down the Rodder. GFI. Ball's going to run up to probably this position, and he's going to try and get someone out to protect it. Is it going to be enough, though? It's going to be some very important GFIs from zombies this turn. He's just about got a screen going now. This is probably enough to get Larkstar the score he wants. But again, everything's going to come down to those KO rolls. Ooh, the werewolf gets out on the 4. And the 3. Very important. This means this werewolf's now safe and potentially can blitz for damage on the next turn right before scoring. Worth noting that Crucifer hasn't had to use any of his rerolls this half, so if there is a potential overtime, he'll be happy carrying all 3 rerolls into it. An interesting blitz away from the ball. Crucifer is content to just let the score happen. Frees up the beast to potentially tie up this werewolf. And threaten some damage. Which will probably force the score on this 13th turn from Larkstar. Beast Stupids is not going to get up there to help. Now this is bad because now the guards and positioning for Larkstar allows him to get a good hit onto this other killer. And if both of the killers are out, it could be very good news for him. Other potential targets are this Rodder, actually. Not a terrible target. It is the Sure Hands. Potentially could even stall a turn, maybe, because of this beast not moving forwards. We are going to take the Rodder hit. No dice. Does not nail him. If he moves forwards, he can assist for another block, maybe, onto this, yep. He will need a GFI to get the guard in there, though. I believe he will be trying to stall this one more turn. At the least. Yep, and we do see the ghoul stop one short of the line. The white takes the GFI we thought he would. This sets up a 2 dice onto the Nurgle Warrior and potential for damage. Just a stun. But the Nurgle are definitely not in the advantage over by this ball. Will this zombie stand up just to prevent the Nurgle Warrior from retreating to help out? I think it would be worthwhile. Leaves him on the ground. Maybe he forgot about him. We'll have to see. Again, 1 minute turns. Not the easiest to map out. Could also just not want him to get KO'd like this guy did. So again, KO rolls are going to be big. 3 KOs sitting out there for the Necro. Can they get them back? GFIs will be needed to be made by Crucifer here. Worth noting that on kickoffs, if it is an extra reroll kickoff, it favors Larkstar because he did come to play with a cheerleader and a assistant coach. Beast Really Stupids is not going to get his guard in there to help out the hit. That wasn't... Oh, no, the beast was blitzing. Okay, so the beast ate the blitz. Very interesting. It looked like maybe he was setting up the beast blitz onto this white, getting the guard in here for a hit from the killer. So we can set up hit into blitz. Lots of chances to get this Nurgle warrior down and stall another turn. Foul appearance is going to stop the first hit. Gonna blitz with the Mighty Blow Werewolf. No dice. Does not break the armor. Mighty Blow Werewolf has come up pretty lackluster recently. Gonna protect the wolf. And then screen off this Sure Hands with the guard. And he will stall this another turn. Aiming to go to the overtime. Now it's worth noting that if this does go to overtime, he will have 2 attempts at the KOs, which favors the Necro team with 3 out versus just the 1 on the Crucifer side. Blitz Pit is a 2-day 1-minute turns tournament, 16 players, Big Chuck. And it's a double elimination. Here, let me give you guys a bracket again. So this is the brackets and the teams. And there is a cash prize for this. Dub Skulls is going to eat a reroll for Crucifer, but he will find a hit and a dead wolf. Will it regen? It will. Not regen. It stays out. That's going to be incredibly hurtful for Larkstar's chances in the overtime with his tackle wolf dead. Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. It will not stay in. We'll get the Blitz onto the Pestigore in return, but with no Mighty Blow and only a 4, fails to find damage. Just a push onto the Nurgle Warrior. And I think we're going to see the white, the ghoul just walk this into the end zone. In this turn. Yeah. So, Gdanik, can I get some confirmation? Is this res or not? I know you're running this thing. Two KOs will get up for the Necro. That's going to be good. Killer stays out for the 3rd time in a row. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 versus 8. 1-man advantage for the Necro team. But there are line blocks to be made. How many will remain? It is resurrection format. Okay, cool. So I have confirmation that it is a resurrection format, so although the wolf is dead, if they can win the game, he'll be back. Now it's going to be very, very difficult for the Nurgle to two-turn this, so I believe we will be seeing overtime. And let's just switch behind the Nurgle, see how they go. And Riot means they'll only get one turn to pound on these Necro, and no chance to score. So how will the numbers look for the next half? Stun the first guy. Not break the second. Can he set up a 3-dice blitz here, maybe? Don't think so. That's just going to be a 2. Does find a POW. Damage, question mark? No, oh, yep. Let's see. Double 6, double 6. Regen works, though. And here we are going overtime. See these KO rolls? Ghoul gets back up. That's good for the Necro. Will the killer get up? He does finally come back to the game. 4th time is the charm for the killer. And the kickoff is going to be won by the Nurgle. Crucifer will receive the ball. So we're going to have 10 on the pitch for the Necro. Versus, I believe, 9 on the pitch. Yeah. 10 versus 9. So Nurgle will receive the ball with 9 players, and Necro will try to defend with 10. 2 rerolls to 1 advantage for the Nurgle. So far, we have seen all defensive favoring kicks on the drives. Will this happen again? Kick coming in, and it's going to be a high kick. Gonna pop a Pestigore back there for it. Catch will fail. Opting maybe for the movement. Oof. Immediately evens the numbers out with a badly hurt onto a zombie. The other 2 are just going to be knocked down. Potential Blitz onto the white, but it's gonna... I mean the ghoul, sorry. But it's gonna set up, like, not a great spot for the killer. So he's not gonna take it. Gonna opt to just not use his Blitz and have him knock down all 3 of the line. Doesn't want to send someone back to get hit. We'll pick up with the sure hands to try and conserve rerolls. Looks like we're going to attempt to set up this hit onto the Nurgle Warrior. 2 assists, and he can blitz from this corner to get 2 Dudais. Assuming he makes the foul appearance roll. He does make the foul appearance roll. Finds the POW. No luck with the armor. This Mighty Blow Claw has not been great. Dodges away. Last reroll. Doesn't use it. I think I might have just been willing to stand there, but then he gives up a blitz from this corner, so it's scary. Obviously feels he's safer on the floor than standing here, so was willing to risk the dodge. Fully knowing that he wouldn't be able to use his last reroll on it. Ball is going to get into a cage near midfield, and he's going to begin the slow march forwards. No reason to rush this. We'll mark up the werewolf on the floor with the Beast of Nurgle. Now it's a bit scary because it will be able to grab a bunch of assists onto that beast and blitz from the floor. And by setting up a stand firm in the way, he can get 2 shots at the same position with the werewolf. So right now he's got +2, -1. Gonna try and get this guard out of there. And that will get rid of one of the anti-assists. Zombie can make that hit. Due to the guard on this white. However, he foul appearances this hit, so he's gonna need another assist on the beast. Instead, he's gonna just try and blitz the Nurgle Warrior. Leaves the beast alone. I like that switch in play. Still failing to break armor with Claw Mighty Blow. Gets another hit onto a killer here afterwards. Oof, but that armor 8 does not stand. And that's a badly hurt Pestigore that regens, but regen doesn't matter when you're in overtime. The only way he's coming back is if a drive ends, and then the game's over anyways. As good as dead. Ghoul retreats to become a safety. And Zombie's okay with one dicing and getting injured. Unfortunate. Unfortunate to say the least. But I don't think he minds a zombie going out. Obviously every number will count, but he had potential for the big time play if he found a 5 or 6 there. And a 1 or 2 was only bad. I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have taken that block because it was a block beast, but it's tough to say. Flesh Golem standing firm. Crucifer loading up the guards into play. Can he protect the back of this ball from the werewolf and the white? I believe kicks count, yes. Ball, not really safe there. Mighty Bill Blitz, and then he's going to have to GFI to cover the back corner. Doesn't GFI. Okay, this leaves a hit on the ball here. Unfortunate that he took that POW. I think maybe he could have considered trying to set a chain push to push this flesh golem onto the ball. It would have only been a 1 dice on the second hit though, so it's a bit scary. Oh, we're going to use the beast to chain push onto the ball. Though there is a ton of guard in play still. And a skull on the 1 dice. Rerolls it. Finds a POW. One dice on the Beast of Nurgle. Spicy turn. Which finally sets up a 1 dice with block onto the ball. Actually a 2 dice with the ghoul coming around to provide an assist. Oof, just finding a push. Now luckily Rotters are slow and this guy can be caught if he runs away by both the ghouls, but it's a bit scary now. He really would have liked to knock that player down. And with no rerolls left for Larkstar. Not only does he have to get the ball onto the ground, he also then has to pick it up, run it down the length of the pitch, and still score because a 2 reroll disadvantage going into kicks is not where you want to be. POW on the Flesh Golem at the first time of asking. This is going to allow the ball to get closer to the end zone. And Crucifer might have just done enough here to squeak out with this overtime win. Obviously, winning the coin toss is the big thing. Blitzes the ghoul onto the tentacles. Finds the POW anyways. Stuns it. It's going to be difficult to get up to that Rotter. Very difficult, actually. That might just be game here. Crucifer's Rotter is in scoring position. And I don't believe there's a way to reach him without some crazy dice. Well, Larkstar had his chance. He got 2 dice on the ball. Unfortunately, it was just not enough. Failed to knock him down. And Crucifer was able to escape with the ball. So I believe he needs to uphill this beast away and try and then dodge the ghoul through to Blitz. Or maybe just try and dodge the ghoul through to Blitz. It's going to be difficult, but... Yeah, tried to push this guy away to make the dodging a little easier. Isn't going to get there. Ball is going to be placed into the end zone, and Crucifer is going to be your first round winner of this match. Congratulations to Crucifer. He'll be moving on to the next spot in the bracket. And Larkstar will be moving on to the losers round. Still in the chance to get there. This is a double elimination tournament, so you still need 2 losses to be put out of this. But it's going to be much harder to get to the end from the losers bracket than the winners bracket.